The following slideshow will delve into some key presentation design and delivery points. If you take these tips into account for your next presentation, you'll surely leave an impact and give a great presentation. The first tip, keep slides simple. When it comes to initial slide design, your slide should have plenty of white space or negative space. By utilizing white or negative space, you'll save yourself from filling empty space with unnecessary things, such as text or logos. These additional bits may take away from what you want your audience to take away from the slide. Limit bullet points in text. Limiting bullet points in text is an extremely key piece of advice when it comes to slide design. A slide that is overwhelmed with information will have the audience focusing on the slide, trying to read it all, and not focused on you, the star of the show. By limiting bullet points in text, you'll be able to keep your audience's full attention and all eyes on you. When it comes to conveying statistics on information, ask yourself, how much information do I actually need? If your charts are overwhelming with information, it could leave your audience trying to decode it. As a result, the attention will be once again taken away from you. Use color well. Color can really make or break a presentation. Dull, boring, and mundane colors will put your audience to sleep. At the same time, you want to ensure that you are not overloading your audience with color and giving them a headache. Choosing fonts wisely is also important. Through the font you choose, you're also choosing how your audience will ultimately react to your presentation. A consistent font throughout your presentation is also an important characteristic of a quality presentation. When it comes to audio or video, it is important to consider the appropriateness of it. A random siren that has nothing to do with your presentation certainly is not a necessary part of your transitions, so use audio or video appropriately. Avoid too many special effects and transitions. If you were to use too many special effects and transitions, once again, the attention may be taken off you. It is important that as presenters we use transitions and effects, but it is even more important to keep the attention on you. You should be able to communicate your intent and story by having the added features of PowerPoint complement your show, not completely take it over. Use contrast between background color and text color. As an audience member, there's nothing worse than having to strain our eyes to be able to read the text on a slide. It is important to ensure there is a good solid contrast between the background, color, and the accompanying text. A good way to do this sometimes is to even fill your text box with the color black and use white text. Now it's time to deliver. Now that you have been giving tips for creating your PowerPoint, let's turn the focus to delivering it. Delivery of the presentation is extremely important, as you could have the best formatted and designed show in the world, but if you cannot communicate it well, it's not going to go well. First, arrive on time. First off, and probably most important, arrive to your setting on time and early. Getting there early allows you to take in your surroundings and set up anything you need to. Also, it allows you to test any remote devices or sound systems you may be working with that day. Start things off strongly. Once your presentation gets underway, there's no better way to start than to start strongly. Getting your audience engaged early on will likely keep them hooked throughout, especially if you keep your energy up. And don't be a statue while you're in front of the room. As you get rolling through your slides, don't stand up in front of your audience looking like a statue. Stay loose, use natural body language, and enjoy your time telling the story. Have a confident pace and step, and it will show your audience that you are confident, and they will be a lot more receptive to your presentation and story. Use a remote control device. There's nothing worse than tapping a smartboard or clicking a key and getting no response or slide change. Instead, use a remote control device to switch your slides. It will also allow you to move away from the medium you're presenting on and give you a smooth transition. These devices can be tricky though, so ensure you know how to use it by arriving early and practicing with it. Keep the lights on. By keeping the lights on, once again, it allows the attention to stay on you. If the lights are off, not only will your audience feel the need to doze off for a second, but also it will allow them to focus on the glowing screen. Also, the lighting of the room will only further enhance the eye contact you'll be making with your audience, which is an extremely important thing you should be doing. Do not read directly from your slides. This delivery tip certainly corresponds with a designing tip, limiting text and bullet points. Limit the amount of info on your slides so you don't feel compelled to read straight from your slides. Your audience has eyes and it's presumed that they can read, so don't lecture them with the information they can see. Give them a lesson that doesn't come straight from your slides. And finally, use humor the right way. Lastly, if the time and mood is right, use humor. If you're going to use it though, use it the proper way. There's nothing worse than an awkward, unfitting joke, so make sure it's age, setting, and time appropriate. After all, you are much more likely to be remembered as a presenter if you appeal to your audience and leave them smiling after your presentation.